Is the Rose P365 really worth it? Let's talk about it. Rose is essentially an answer to the historical shift that we've seen over the last 15 years, which is that there are now so many more female gun owners. Unfortunately, the connection between the retailer and the range seems to be severed, and so Rose came in under Sig Sauer and of course in collaboration with Lena Miculek to bridge this gap. The mission of Rose is to inspire women to take personal safety into their own hands through education, community, and training. First, with education, there's a vast online library of training resources when it comes to taking your gun out of the box for the first time, all the way to how to load a magazine into your firearm properly. When it comes to training, Rose offers the Retreat and the Shoot Sig / Shoot Rose collaboration events, where you can take a 3-hour course on basic pistol principles with Lena Miculek and her assistant instructors, and then go on to do a Shoot Sig event to kind of dip your toes in the competition side. And lastly, the Rose community is large and welcoming. There are so many women that have banded together to talk about their journey when it comes to shooting a firearm for the first time, owning their first firearm, and then going to the range for the first time, all the way up to their competition shooting journeys today, just because of this pistol right here. Now that we've done a brief overview of what Rose is, let's talk about what you get when you purchase the Rose P365. If you'd like a more detailed unboxing, Lena Miculek has one up on YouTube under the Rose YouTube. I'll link it in the description. Today, I'm just gonna go over what is in the box briefly, and then I'll talk about some features that I think are the most important. First, let's go into the gun itself. So this is the Rose P365 XL Comp, meaning it is a slightly larger gun than the standard P365, and it has a compensator here. And as you can see here, I have the RoMEO-X red dot, but when you go online, the two options right now for purchasing the XL model is the XL compensated with or without the Romeo 0 red dot. This particular model is chambered in 9mm. However, if you would like a smaller caliber, you can get the P365 380. This just means that the caliber is 380 as opposed to 9mm. If you're someone that wants to have a smaller caliber so that there isn't as much recoil to manage, especially if you are new to firearms, then you can choose that option. Aesthetically, what sets the Rose apart from the standard P365 is the laser engraving of the Rose into the grip of the firearm, the Rose Go trigger, slide lock lever, safety, and even the detailing on the optic itself. And then lastly, of course, it's the signature of the Rose on the slide here. Other than those aesthetic differences, you have a manual safety on this model, whereas the standard P365 does not come with that. If you are someone that is on the fence about having a manual safety, it really just comes down to what you are most comfortable with. Some will argue that it impairs your ability to get your firearm out and ready in a self-defense situation, but as long as you're training by removing the manual safety before you fire, and of course the timing that goes along with that, you're fine. On my gun, I have the RoMEO-X red dot, but say this were not on, I have my backup iron sights, which come standard on the Rose P365, which are the X-Ray 3-day night sights. These are the same sights that are on my X Macro and all of the P365 series. I truly love these sights because it allows you to see even in the dark, so that when you, or say you have to pull your firearm in a self-defense situation at night, you have that benefit. This particular firearm is considered to be micro compact, which makes it incredibly easy to conceal, especially in the summer and especially if you are new to concealment. Starting off, you do receive 2 of these 12-round magazines, and of course the overall capacity is 12+1. Next is the mag assist loader. This is great for, first of all, if you're new to firearms, but secondly, if you get your mags in and you notice they're tight because the springs haven't been used that much, this really helps get those last few rounds in. Next are the snap caps. If you've never heard of these before, these are essentially just rubber rounds that protect your firing pin when you are dry firing. Dry firing is when you are firing without the use of live ammo. And these are great when it comes to learning how to load your mag. You can use this just like an actual round to practice depressing the spring of the mag and loading that round in. And of course, the online education that comes along with this will teach you how to load your mags using these snap caps, and that way you don't have to do it with live rounds for your very first time. It takes away that element of anxiety. And as you can see here, I'm checking my firearm. I have no mag, I have no live rounds in the chamber, but say I'm loading my firearm for the first time and I'm feeling anxious, it's all new. Of course, what I can do is load those snap caps and I have a round in the chamber now that I learned how to do without ever touching a live round. The next and last accessory you get with your Rose is this Vault-Tec safe. If you are a first-time firearm owner and you are feeling anxious about where to store your firearm at home when you're not utilizing it, this Vault-Tec safe is a great option. Let's talk about some of my favorite accessories you can purchase in addition to the Rose. The first is this Rose FOXTROT-EDC Flashlight. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a flashlight. How great could it be? Well, I'm actually pretty particular about my flashlights because I see this as a self-defense weapon on its own. For example, when I'm walking to my car at night and I want to illuminate my surroundings, I am immediately showing people that I am not an easy target. The two specs that I think are worth mentioning and are why I like this flashlight so much is that it is over 1300 lumens, so luminosity is of course the total amount of light, and over 33,000 candela, which is the focus of the light on a subject. Another feature that I think is worth mentioning are the two types of tail caps it comes with. It comes with a standard and a crowned tail cap. The difference is that the crowned tail cap extends above the switch so that when you are carrying this in your pocket, say you're carrying it deep in your pocket, it doesn't accidentally turn on. Because if used for a long period of time or constantly on, it does get very hot. But say you are someone that does not carry this in your pocket and you're carrying it in your hand walking to and from places and you want to be able to access your button a bit more easily, this is the regular or just standard tail cap. Lastly, the reason the FOXTROT-EDC Compact is one of my favorites is because it is just that. It is compact and for everyday carry. It is incredibly small, you can't even tell I have it in my hand, and it is light and ultimately portable, which is what we want when it comes to a reliable EDC setup. The next accessory I'd like to mention is the ROMEO-X red dot. This 2 MOA red dot and 32 MOA circle has an aluminum housing, a side battery access, and an incredibly low deck height so that you can co-witness your irons and your red dot. It is an open emitter red dot, so you do have to be on top of making sure that it stays clean on the inside and outside. But other than that, this compact red dot has been my go-to this summer. Of course, it is housed on my XL already, so I couldn't be happier with it. If you're someone who wants a reliable red dot for your first time or just a compact, reliable one, of course, since SIG is using the same technology and testing that they use when supplying the military, you know that this is going to be your new favorite red dot. Before we get into whether or not I think the Rose P365 is worth it compared to the standard P365, let's talk about the cost. Starting off, the cost of the Rose P365 kit, like I mentioned before, you cannot purchase this outside of the kit, is $953.99. If you want to bundle it with the FOXTROT-EDC Compact Flashlight, I believe it's around $519.99 right now, offered on their website. But if you're comparing this to the price of the XL alone, it is approximately $619.99 depending on where you purchase it. Now, do I think the difference between those two is worth it for someone to purchase the Rose? And the answer is yes. Aside from what's included in the kit, so the Vault-Tec safe, the mag speed loader, the two 12+1 round magazines, and then of course the snap caps it comes with so that you can learn how to load a firearm and of course load the magazine without ever handling live ammunition, you get access and a collaboration with the online community that has been cultivating for the past few years ever since the Rose release. When it comes to learning how to utilize a firearm, not just getting into firing the firearm for the first time, but learning how to conceal it and make it part of your everyday life, you need support. So here's my final answer. If you are someone who has the budget to support the purchase of the Rose P365, I absolutely do think it is worth it. You simply cannot match the community and of course the accessories that come with purchasing a firearm for your first time by purchasing the standard P365. From concealment to how to safely store your firearm at home, there are so many aspects to consider when it comes to being a first-time gun owner. Now, say you do not have the budget for the Rose, but you are still wanting to learn alongside Lena Miculek, those training videos are made available to you if you say purchase the P365 standard or any other firearm of your choosing. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. before you go, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment on what you would like to see going forward. What questions do you have about the Rose P365? I will also use this video as a chance to announce that I am an official assistant instructor under Lena Miculek and the Rose by Sig Sauer program. I have the honor of assisting Lena when she instructs the Shoot Rose / Shoot Sig events as one of her 3 assistant instructors. We get to walk you through a full fundamentals course of firearms training, as well as take you through your first steps of competition shooting using the Shoot Sig program. All resources mentioned in the video today will be linked in the description, so check that out. In the meantime, I'll see you in one of these videos.